So today's topic is electrical drives introduction. Hello all, I am Shraddha Aniket Sawan. So we will start first topic, first module, introduction of electrical drives. Let's start with some examples. So drives are present everywhere. So we are using the watches. At a domestic level we have seen mixer, washing machine, fans, then refrigerator, air conditioner. In this compressor is present, and that compressor is nothing but a drive. Sewing machine is the another example of drive. Music and video system. Then in a transportation system, battery driven vehicles are there, electrical traction is there, electrical cars are there, battery operated toys are there. These all are example of drives. Rolling mills, paper machines, agriculture, then robot, space and defense, these are the applications of drives. Also in a printer and a scanner, fax machine, this is also the example of electrical drives. So what do you mean by drives? So what is the drives? Drives are the system employed for motion control. Okay, drives are the systems for employed for motion control. And what is meant by electrical drives? Drives that employ electrical motors are known as electrical drives, or drives that employ for the motion control of electrical motors are known as electrical drives. So block diagram of electrical drives. First we will start with a load. Load is nothing but usually a machine designed to accomplish a given task. Okay, for example fan, pumps, washing machine, machine tools are there, drill machine. Okay, these are the nothing but the load which is connected to the shaft of a motor. Okay, then we have a source. So source may be single phase, three phase, AC or DC, depend on a type of sources, that is wind or solar. We will get energy, and that energy we are giving to the power modulator. Okay, this much understood. After that, output of power modulator we are giving to the motor. Then motor will run and it will drive the load. Okay, next, sensing unit is there. For a better control purpose, what we are doing, we have sensors like voltage sensors, current sensor, or torque sensor, speed sensors. So what we will do, we will sense the speed at this point. Means suppose we are using a speed sensor, then we will see the RPM of a motor shaft or motor at which the motor is rotating, and that we are sensing and fed to the control unit. So what is the need of control unit, or what the control unit will do? It has input command, and that input command and sense signal you have, it will compare that signals, and depend on the error signal it will send signals to the power modulator. Let's take one example. If a load which is connected to the motor, it is rotational in nature. Okay, so load is rotating at a speed of 800 rpm. Okay, so by using the speed sensing unit, what we will do, we will sense the speed as a 800 rpm here. Okay, then sensing unit will send signal to the control unit as a 800 rpm, and suppose our input command that now the load should be rotate at 1000 rpm. Okay, so there is a error in between reference signal and the actual signal. So what is the error? 1000 minus 800, which is nothing but the 200. So what will happen? That depend on that error 200, control unit will create a control signal and it will give to the power modulator. Okay, here in the block diagram, main role is done by the power modulator. So what are the functions of power modulator? First one, it modulates the flow of power from the source to the motor in such a manner that motor is imparted speed torque characteristics required by the load. Okay, means what will happen? If we go in a previous slide, see, our requirement was 1000 rpm. Actually the load was rotating at a speed of 800 rpm. So to modulate the flow of power fed to the motor, okay, which is came from the source, so to modulate that power we required control signals. Okay, and that modulation of power is done by the power modulator. Okay, so what will happen? It will modulate the power, it will give extra energy to the motor so that now the load will rotate at 1000 rpm, like that. Okay, so functions of power modulator, in first what we have seen, it modulates the flow of power from source to the motor. Then second one is during transient operation. Transient operations means starting, braking and speed reversal. Okay, during this transient operation what will happen? Motor current will increase. Okay, to restrict the motor current as well as the source current within a limit, power modulator is required. Okay, so it during transient operation it restricts the source and motor currents within a limit. Next is it acts as a converter. So do you know converters? Converters are nothing but, if you have AC supply, then if your motor is DC, then you have to convert AC power to the DC, like that. Okay, so it will act as a converter. Then this power modulator can be act as a, or it performs select modes of operation of the motor, that is motoring and braking. Okay, so there are 4 quadrant operation of a motor. So in a 4 quadrant operation, motor will act as a motor, as well as in a braking mode it will act as a generator. So while selecting the quadrants as per the requirement of a load, we need some module, and that is nothing but power modulator. Okay, so these are the 4 functions of power modulator. Next we will go for advantages of electrical drives. So first one, they have flexible control characteristics. Okay, so what is meant by flexible? They can shape and reshape the characteristics. Okay, actually see, motor is connected with a load, load is having some demand, means suppose one application, printing application, suppose if you are taking, then for some interval of time it should be print or it should be run at a speed of 1000 rpm. For some interval of time it should be slowed down to 500 rpm. So these are the different characteristics of a load with respect to the time, and also speed and torque is also related. Okay, so to match the demand of a load, the drive should be a drive should have flexible control. So this is possible in electrical drives. Okay, steplessly and smoothly we can control, okay, with the help of electrical drives. Steplessly and smoothly means 1000 rpm, 1001 rpm, 1010 rpm, 1011 rpm, like this smooth changes you can do. Okay, also in a control unit, suppose there is a complex control is there and PLC is present, then there will be a automatic fault detection. Okay, so these are the advantages of electrical drives. Second advantage we can say, available in a wide range of torque, speed and power. Also they are very efficient because no load losses are very low, and their maintenance is also very low. Also they have lower noise and longer life as compared to the mechanical drives. If there is a mechanical drives are present, then there will be a, of course, noise will be high, and due to the mechanical process require very high maintenance or regular maintenance is required, as well as in a mechanical drive, due to the friction and losses, the life will be less. Okay. Next, it is adaptable to any operating condition like explosive, radioactive, submerged in a liquid, or vertically mounted. Okay. Next, clean means it does not pollute or do not pollute the environment. Easy to store and transport because they are flexible, adaptable, available in all sizes, so we can store anywhere and we can transport it anywhere. Then also they can operate in all 4 quadrant operations. So 4 quadrant operation of electrical drives or electrical motor we will see in next module in detail. But if you want to operate any drive in a 4 quadrant operation, it is very easy with the help of electrical drives. So parts of electrical drives as per the block diagram: load, then electrical motor, power modulators, control unit, source, and sensing unit. So first part we will take as a electrical motors. So you have already studied this in machine 1, machine 2, that is second year and third year, that electrical motors or electrical machines are mainly divided into DC machines, induction motor, and special motor. So in a DC motor again there are 4 types: shunt motor, series motor, compound motor, and separately excited shunt motor. Okay. Then next, in a induction motor or in a AC machine, there is classification of synchronous machine and induction machine. Okay. And for induction machine there are again so many types, depend on single phase and 3 phase. If it is a 3 phase induction machine, then it will divide into 2 3 phase squirrel cage motor and 3 phase wound rotor motor. Okay. And if it is a single phase induction machine, then it will be capacitor start, shaded pole, split phase, capacitor run motors. So these are the types of induction motors. And in case of special motors, there are stepper motor, brushless DC motor, reluctance motor, and universal motors are there. Okay. Next. So if we compare all the motors, so first column, DC motor, so there is a presence of commutator and brushes, and because of this commutator and brushes the cost is high. Also the volume required for these brushes and commutator will be high, and volume is high, also weight is also high, therefore they have high inertia. Okay. And the mechanical action is also there, and commutators are present, that's why there is a frequent maintenance is required. So if we compare squirrel cage induction motor with the DC motor, then cost of a squirrel cage induction motor is 1/3 for a same rating of a DC motor. It is a rush, require practically no maintenance, and it is built for higher speed, torque, and power rating. Then, so as compared with the wound rotor induction motor, maintenance is high as compared to squirrel cage induction motor because there is a winding present in a rotor. Size is also high, more expensive than squirrel cage induction motor. Maintenance is also complicated. Okay, but it is less expensive than squirrel cage induction motor, and but less compared to the DC motor. Okay. and of course they are available in high power rating than the induction motor. Then permanent magnet synchronous motor, all the advantages of squirrel cage induction motor except that they can available in low power rating. And brushless DC motor similar to the permanent magnet synchronous motor but has lower cost and require simpler and cheaper converters. So this is the good advantage because of the power electronics. Low power high speed drive and servo application, brushless DC motor is used. Recently stepper motor has become more popular because with the help of that you can control the position control methods, as well as switch reluctance motor drives are also very advanced motors drive for a speed control technique. So first we have seen electrical motors as a part 1. Second part of electrical drives is a power modulator. Classification of power modulator. First is your converter. So converter means AC to DC, AC to AC, DC to AC and DC to DC. Second classification of power modulator is variable impedances, and third is a switching circuit. So let's see one by one. First one, converter. So converter, in converter there is first type AC to DC. It will act as a rectifier. So if you use diode rectifier, that is uncontrolled rectifier, because diode is a uncontrolled device. So with the help of uncontrolled diode rectifier, fixed voltage of 3-phase or single phase AC you can convert into DC. Why the conversion is required? Because you have source with a AC supply and your motor is DC supply. That's why the power modulator will act as a rectifier, that will convert AC to DC. Okay, this is the one method. Second method we can see half or fully controlled thyristor rectifier. In a diode rectifier, ripples will be present and you can't control the output. It is a fixed output. Okay, so if you want variable voltage DC output, you should have the switches of a rectifier should be half control or fully controlled. Okay, so with the help of half control or fully controlled thyristor rectifier, if you have a AC supply as a AC, you can control in a variable voltage DC. Now what is the advantages in between these two? This is a fixed voltage, so you can't control the speed of a motor. Okay, but this is variable voltage, so you can control it. Okay, but this is fixed voltage, but after that if you use something else, then you can control it. Okay, next, also if you have AC supply with a fixed voltage, use a transformer with taps, then what will happen? Fixed voltage of AC, you will get at the output variable AC voltage. So if it is a variable AC voltage given to the diode rectifier, you will get variable voltage as a DC. Again, this one more figure for with the help of motors. So suppose this is a AC motor and the field here, the field will be variable field. Means if you change this field of a motor, the output as a mechanical output, electrical to mechanical conversion, mechanical shaft is present which is coupled to this DC generator. So what will happen? With the help of variable feed, the mechanical output will be different. Means the rotor shaft which is coupled to both motors and generator will rotate at different speed, and with respect to that mechanical input, your generated output will be variable voltage. Okay, also this is one dyne is there, also there. With the help of that you will get the variable voltage DC. Also magnetic amplifier and diode rectifier, with the help of these two also you can get a variable voltage. So these are the all these diagrams are a power modulator which is act as a converter, and in converter it is act as a AC to DC. Okay. Next, power modulator. Next part is converter, and in that converter as a AC regulator, AC to AC if you want to regulate. Okay, so what kind of converter you will use? AC regulator. So this is an auto transformer with fixed turns ratio, and at the input if there is a fixed voltage of AC, you will get AC voltage, but the value will be low value. Then with the help of tap changing transformer, AC to AC you will get from fixed voltage AC to variable voltage AC. These are nothing but the AC regulators. Third, with the help of thyristor voltage control method, again you will get a variable voltage AC by fixed voltage 3-phase or single phase AC. Next converter is chopper control, DC to DC conversion if you want. Your motor is also DC and your supply is also DC. Okay, so you will get by using semiconductor chopper. Next, so there will be semiconductor inverters present, so you will get fixed voltage DC to variable frequency fixed voltage and current AC. Similarly, by using PWM semiconductor inverter, you can convert DC to AC. Then power modulator, first it will act as a converter, and second is variable impedances. So variable resistors, impedances means resistance and inductors. Okay, so variable resistance commonly used for control for a low cost AC and DC drives, and also needed for a dynamic braking of drives. So what is meant by braking, that we will see in next module. Okay, it has only values 0 or full or more steps, and can be controlled manually or automatically with the help of contactors. Stepless variation of resistance can be obtained using semiconductor switches. Okay, because in a semiconductor switches, with the help of firing angle, you can change in a stepless manner. Like variable resistance are there. Then inductor is also used to limit the starting current of a AC motor. Old drives has saturable reactor in which reactance is controlled by controlling the DC current of the control winding. Then third is your switching circuit. So why the switching circuit operations are required to achieve this? First one, it require for a changing the quadrant operation. Okay, it means there are 4 quadrant operations. So if you want to change your drive system, drive means motor, load, power modulator, all things will come. If you want to change the motor speed in forward direction or reverse direction, or you have to change the torque in a opposite direction, or means in a forward direction or reverse direction, the switching circuit should be required. Okay, second is for changing motor circuit parameters. Okay, for automatic starting and braking, means if you want to brake the motor or if you want to start the motor, there should be switching circuit should be there, switch on and switch off like that. Okay, third, for operating motors and drives according to the predetermined sequence, means if during starting motor will run like at a normal speed, the rated speed. After that some 5 minutes it will run at 1000 rpm speed, then there will be 10 Newton meter torque. So these are the nothing but the operations of a motor as a drive. So this is already predetermined sequence, and to follow that we need a switching circuit. Okay, next, to disconnect the motor during the abnormal condition. If there is any fault or any maloperation is present, then what will happen? You have to sense it and switch off the motor or to disconnect the motor from the supply for the protection purpose, that is during the abnormal conditions. So switching operation in a power circuit, switching circuit will be relays and contactors. Okay, so relays will sense and contactors will operate on and off like that. But recently what happened, instead of relays and contactor, thyristor switches are there, because relays and contactor has the mechanical movement. Okay, but with the help of electrical control, that is a current and voltage, you can switch on and off the thyristor switches, means like my power electronic switches. Okay, and if there is a interlocking and complex programming is there, a sequential program is there, then programmable logic controller PLC will be used as a switching circuit. So next, third part will be sources. So in India, single phase and three phase 50 Hz AC supplies are readily available in a most location. Okay, very low power drives are generally fed from single phase source, and rest of the drives are powered by three phase source. Okay, then for a mostly aircraft and space application, 400 Hz AC supply is generally used to achieve the high power to weight ratio for a motors. Okay, for a traction load, it is 25 kilovolt and 50 Hz, as well as for underground traction load, 500 volt to 750 voltage DC supply is present. Also battery operated drives are also there, that is a lift truck, milk vans. So depending upon the size and battery voltage, there is a variation: 6 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt, 48 volt and 110 volt DC. Okay, another example of drive fed from low voltage DC supply is a solar power and wind power in a space and water pumping application. Although choice of motors depends on the type of supply. Okay, if supply is AC, then of course we will go for a AC motor like that. But there are many other factors which are even more important. Okay, means if your supply is AC, so it is not compulsory or it is not in our hand to depend on the source available, we will select a motor. Other factors are also important. Therefore, a DC motor may be preferred over a AC, even the supply is AC available, and maybe AC motors may be preferred over a DC supply, over a DC, even when the supply is DC. Okay, because other factors we have to also consider. Next, control unit. So control for a power modulator are provided in a control unit. We have seen in a block diagram that control signal are fed to the power modulator. Okay, so the nature of the control unit for a particular drive depend on the power modulator that is used. Means if power modulator is having semiconductor converters, okay, then your control circuit means your power modulator is having firing circuit, digital integrated circuits are there, transistors are there. Okay, so the control unit will consist of firing circuit which employ digital integrated circuits, transistor, microprocessor, and when this is sophisticated control is required. But when control of switching circuit is required for any of the purpose like interlocking or sequencing, then control unit will be provide sequence and interlocking with the help of solid relays are used, and for complex control we will go for the PLC. This PLC can be used. Next topic is choices of electrical drives. So first one, steady state operation requirement. So what is meant by steady state operation requirements? Means while selecting or choice of an electrical device depend on these various factors. The first is your steady state operation requirement. Steady state operation requirement means nature of a speed torque characteristics. This is the first requirement. Okay, what is the requirement of speed? What is the requirement of torque? Is torque and speed are with with respect to each other, they are changing or not? Then speed regulation, speed range, how much range you require, okay, efficiency, duty cycle, which quadrant operation you want to perform, speed fluctuation is there, okay. So many ratings are there, so many factors will comes under the steady state operation, okay. Then transient operation requirement. Transient operation requirement means values of acceleration and deceleration, because transient operation means braking, stopping, means braking, starting and reversing. So value of acceleration required, value of deceleration required, starting, when you have to start, when you have to brake, reverse performance of that drive. So depend on that we will choose the electrical drives. Then requirement related to the source, type of source is available, its capacity, magnitude of voltage, is there any voltage fluctuation, power factor of that subsource, is there any harmonics are present, effect of that harmonics on source, load, ability to accept the regenerated power. So this comes under the requirement related to the source. Then capital and running cost, maintenance and need, life. Then space and weight restriction, if any, means while choosing the electrical drives we have to see this, how much space we have, how much weight it can carries, because if the aircraft and shift space, then we have to see for a weight as well as a space, okay. Then environmental location, that is, it is a radioactive environment, vertically implemented, submerged in a water, like that. And last one is your reliability. So these all 7 factors we have to consider while electrical drives selection. Next, so what is the current status of AC and DC drives? Of course you have AC motors, you have DC drives or DC motors. So if you employ a system which control the AC motor and which control the DC motor, we have both the drives, okay. So what happened with this AC motor in the past? Before 1957, in the past, AC motor, that is induction machine or synchronous motor, induction motor and synchronous motor drives were mainly used for a fixed speed application, okay. Fixed means AC motor, suppose induction motor formula NS is equal to 120 F upon P. So frequency we can't change, poles we cannot change. So depend on pole and frequency and 120 multiplication factor, the speed of a AC motor will not change. Means if you want to change the speed, there should be change in a frequency or change in a pole should be there, okay. So in the past it was not available, so AC motor was were used for only fixed speed application. After that DC motor, not after that, in the past DC motor are used for the variable speed application. This is for fixed, this is for variable. Then thyristor, emergence of the thyristor in 1957. So what will happen? It will development in a variable speed induction motor drives. So due to this thyristor, due to the power electronics devices revolution, what will happen? The AC motors which was used only for a fixed speed, it will use for a variable motor drives, okay. And the induction motor was very cheap, so it was very cheap, so there is no problem with the cost also. due to this evolution of thyristor, it is predicted that now induction motor will be used, or it will be replace the DC motor drives. Okay, but however some hurdles were there. So what was the hurdles? See, induction motor was cheaper, but their control and converter are expensive. Okay, so DC was established, already it was established, and AC was in new. So again DC go forward with the AC. Okay, so AC was not reliable because their controller and converters are very expensive. Therefore AC was not reliable. After that, their development in ICs and for electronics devices, VLSIs, so it will be helpful for AC drives to develop again, and this development is also help for the DC drives also. Okay, after that there is a improvement in converters and control of a AC motors, that is thyristor is also improved, converters are also improved, and therefore the costs are reduced. See this, here it was expensive, so due to the improvement in converters and thyristor, controller cost is reduced and AC drives continue to grow. However, DC drives are also used for some applications. Okay, so if we compare the DC drive and AC drive particularly we take induction motor. So this is the motor DC drive. So as per the motor point of view, DC motors require maintenance because of the brushes and that commutator present. It is also heavy, it is expensive, and limited speed is there. Okay, so due to mechanical construction, that is commutator and brushes is the main part in a DC drives. Comparing with the DC drives, AC drives, less maintenance is required. It is light in weight, cheaper as compared to DC drives, high speed, and robust. It is a robust condition. Okay, DC drives control unit. So DC drive control unit is simple and very cheap, and for high performance drive we can use this control unit. Okay, because in a DC drives decoupled torque and flux control is present. We will see this in detail. Decoupled torque, what is meant by decoupling and coupling? Okay, means what? You can separately control the torque and flux in a decoupled manner. It will not affect the torque and flux with each other. Okay, so this is possible in a DC drives, and possibly this control circuit is possible by using simple analog circuit. But in a AC drives, what happen? There is a first coupling is there. Okay, so depend on the required drive performance, there is a complex circuit or controller is required, then DSP processor, then fast processor, microprocessor required in high performance drives. So therefore cost will again increase. Performance wise, DC drives are fast torque and flux control because there is a decoupled. In AC drives there are two types, there is scalar control and vector control applications. So in a scalar control we only change the magnitude and control the motor speed, and in a vector control, similar to the DC drives, we can control, but vector control is having complexity and cost is also increased. In vector control we have to see direction as well as a magnitude. So from this we have questions. What are the advantages of electrical drives? Okay, then state essential parts of electrical drives. So already we have discussed this. What are the functions of power modulator? It modulates the flow of power. It will act as a current limiter during transient operation, act as a converter, and it can select the modes of operation. Write a brief note on motors employed in variable speed drives. State and explain the functions of various converters. Write a brief note on source employee in a variable speed drive. What are the main factors which decide the choice of electrical drive for a given application, and what is the current status of DC and AC drives? These all questions can ask for a 10 marks. Okay. Thank you so much. For any questions, you can contact me on WhatsApp. You can find me at shraddhasawant2324 @gmail.com.